Hello everyone, Pineaaronapple here with the latest Doctor Who episode and what is essentially the Easter special, Legend of the Sea Devils. The hell is a Sea Devil? Well, they are actually a returning villain from the Pertwee era, where they appeared in an episode named after themselves, the Sea Devils. From a fan's point of view, they are the water versions of the Silurians. So in layman's terms, a pre-human resident of the planet Earth, who feel really salty that the planet is not theirs anymore. And they are in Warriors of the Deep, but no one wants to remember that. Last episode was Eve of the Daleks, where Yaz realised she was gay, Dan was a secret-spilling rat, and the Doctor did the same thing as usual. Let's see if this episode exceeds expectations or falls short. The episode starts in a coastal village in 1807, shown to us by this disgusting Wicked Witch of the West coloured text. Seriously, as if our pals' yellow and orange text from the past two series weren't enough. This is kind of off-putting. A female pirate arrives for the treasure located in a statue that this man seems to want to protect from her, asking his son to continue this duty should he fail. The woman finds the statue, a pretty good-looking, if off-scale, from what we see later, visage of a sea devil. Seriously, I would plot this in my garden. She starts to chip away at the statue, setting the sea devil free, but she also finds a piece of stone with some writing on it. The man from earlier confronts her, but before they can fight, the statue shatters with some not 100% good effects. This sea devil is sporting a fancy sword and executes the man, leading into our opening credits. The TARDIS lands on a nearby beach, oddly dry considering the storm in the nearby village. Turns out the TARDIS team are in the wrong place. Again. Figures. And Dan is wearing this thing. Not gonna lie, that's kind of funny that he is now stuck with this outfit for the rest of the episode. But the hook hand is kinda too much. The Doctor is pulled by her earring to the seafront, and flashing her sonic and skimming a rock reveals some sort of kinetic manipulation, explaining why the TARDIS did not land where they wanted. They hear screams from the village as the Sea Devil massacres everyone in it, in a really poorly executed scene. Seriously, this is poorly put together. Although I think a lot of the head-on shots of the Sea Devil really look well done. I honestly love the new designs for this episode's Sea Devils, and the voice, even if it sounds a little too similar to Kudlak to feel unique. There is another poorly constructed scene where they attempt to capture the Sea Devil, but a flying pirate ship collects him and he escapes, and fuck you, this jump is so bad. It is not in their skill set, and as far as I can remember, something like this never happens again. So, it should not have happened, and it looks terrible as it does. Let's move on. The Doctor states the obvious again, and again. Seriously, the writing makes it feel like Chibnall just can't trust the audience to remember things a minute after they happen. As soon as the Doctor meets the female pirate, who is identified as Madam Ching, she says, "Ooh, name, occupation and rank. Funny meeting you here," like she does with every historical figure she ever meets. Although some other Doctors are occasionally guilty of this, but it does feel far more egregious when she does it. Madam Ching meets the man's son, and we are told that the Sea Devil's weapon works a lot similar to the Silurians' poison. An interesting idea for a sword. Madam Ching is after the lost treasure of the Fleur de la Mar, whatever that is. Apparently the treasure was lost, but the ship it was on is nearby. Meanwhile, the Sea Devils detail their plan, to take the Earth back from humanity. Oddly enough, only one actually seems to talk, and they send a sea monster out to feast on those travelling the waters. As we are shown in an underwhelming scene where a lone fisherman is eaten by the creature. Honestly, it looks pretty good CGI-wise, though. How this and that jump were in the same episode, I don't know what happened. Dan stands on the beach and tries to comfort the boy, but puts up a weak defense against him, and ends up swimming to Madam Ching's ship with him. 13 tries to trace the Sea Devils, but doesn't get far. So to follow the treasure Madam Ching wanted, her and Yaz go back to Pirate Jihoon's death, when the treasure was buried. Dan and the boy make it on the ship after some comic dialogue, and get quickly caught. Dan talks her into having them as the crew that she is currently missing. Now back in 1533, the TARDIS lands as Jihoon is throwing his crew overboard. I like Jihoon's actor a lot here. He is a little strange, but enjoyable. After Jihoon gets rid of his crew, the Sea Devil leader appears to take control of his ship. And at this point, the Sea Devil betrays Jihoon, forcing 13 and Yaz back to the TARDIS as they fight. Now knowing the ship's wrecking point, they go back to 1807 on the ocean floor in a pretty well shot scene. These two share another frustrating will they won't they dialogue, but they realise that the ship is missing. Took them a while though. The ocean floor starts coming away and the sea monster from before snaps up the TARDIS. On Madame Ching's ship, both her compass and the stars are fluctuating. Dan asks why she wants the treasure, and after some more annoying comic relief, we find out that her crew and her children are being held ransom. Her only way to get them back is to trade them for the treasure. The sea monster now starts to attack their ship, and they fight back with cannons. For an episode that seems full of bad CGI, I really like the look of this creature. The creature is undeterred by the three cannonballs, and somehow not only sends them back at the ship, but they also explode in the air? I know the Chinese were one of the ones to pioneer gunpowder, but I'm not sure if explosive cannonballs were in a pirate's pay grade in the early 1800s. The TARDIS is deposited in the Sea Devil base under the water. Yaz and 13 bumble around a bit and notices their technology. The Sea Devil leader calls her out on her quirks and tells her the obvious thing, that they want the planet back. The ship that had the treasure on it is revealed to be the floating ship that the Sea Devils have been using. The Devils are after something called a keystone. Using this leverage that they don't really have, the Sea Devil captain takes them onto his ship. Inside the ship, 13 and Yaz argue while the Sea Devil captain does touch-ups on the tech. The captain opens a piece of the floor to reveal Jihoon in a stasis field. Apparently, when Jihoon threw his crew off the ship, he was saving them from the inevitable betrayal. This keystone was a powerful gem that was part of the treasure. It was removed from the ship when one of his subordinates fled. 13 bluffs some more, but the captain finds the gem on the surface. So, to escape, 13 sends the ship back up, right near Madame Ching's ship. 13 and Yaz swing onto the ship with a Nike-wearing Jihoon. Seriously, look at this shit. This is worse than the Game of Thrones Starbucks cup. Jihoon is funny, and the Sea Devil comes for the keystone. One that is on the boy, since he is actually the descendant of one of Jihoon's crew, Lei Bao. It was the power of the keystone that put the Sea Devil captain in the stone in the first place. With the Sea Devil systems and the power of the MacGuffin, keystone, the Sea Devils will have control of the planet to reshape it as they wish. Probably just adding more water. To follow him, our cast jump back on the floating ship. Somehow, seriously, that should not be physically possible. And with a lot of technobabble bullshit, 13 figures out their plan as the captain starts the countdown, while his people climb the ship once again somehow. This then becomes a sword fight with decent choreography. 13 and the captain is an alright fight. She's a little too weak and prefers running away, so I feel like the confrontation could have been set up better so that even if the Doctor didn't really fight like they did in the first Sea Devil episode way back when, it didn't feel out of place. But with the other battles taking place nearby, it certainly does. Jihoon and Madame Ching work together well, and even if Dan and Yaz's fight is a little slow, it is entertaining enough. But just like the first battle of the episodes, the camera work and editing can be frustrating or nausea-inducing. Like an invalid attempting to make a Fast and Furious film. The cast defeat the Sea Devils, Jihoon killing the captain, the death noise even sounding like one of the old sound effects of their yells. Dan and Yaz have another infuriating talk before 13 runs in and drops the ship back underwater. She gives Dan a Sea Devil sword, which is like giving a child a gun, and 13 resolves to halt the machine fucking up the planet. Madame Ching and the boy, I will keep calling him the boy, I haven't heard his name, and I'm not learning it, go to find the rest of the treasure while Jihoon and Dan stand guard. So Dan promptly murders like 5 of the Sea Devils while 13 and Yaz freak out. She starts moping about not banging the Doctor, who, oddly enough, gets a decent couple of lines. If only these two had an actual bond that wasn't oddly placed in the last series of their era. 13 figures out she needs to sacrifice herself, not having enough time to get to the TARDIS while making sure the stone deactivates, exploding on deactivation. But a surprise Jihoon stands in for her and she and the rest of them escape. Even if this does wonders for Jihoon's character, it once again undermines the Doctor. This being one of the many times where 13 leaves a character to deal with her problems. Most notably and recently, Ko-Shamus. The Sea Devil's work detonates and Madame Ching got the treasure out in the nick of time. 13 is cringy, Madame Ching gets enough money and takes the young boy as her new crewmate in a cute moment. Back on the beach, Dan calls Diane, the bitch, and she picks up and is all, "I've been thinking about you, Dan." Meanwhile, 13 and Yaz are having a moment of will they, won't they? Turns out they probably won't. I couldn't have guessed with there only being one episode of this left. Although, unlike their other scenes, 13's dialogue here is actually pretty decent. Yaz still seems like a plank of wood, though. 13 skims a rock and we get a next time trailer. But there can't be anything good there. Wait, how is Ashad back? Is that Tegan and Ace? Let's go back to Heathrow Airport. Vinder? The Master? Kate? Oh, let's go! Who am I kidding? It's the last episode of this era and I've lost most of my faith in Chinball's run. Maybe I should go to church this Sunday and pray that it'll be good. So, this episode wasn't the best. A lot of the CGI was blatantly terrible. The story was written in a way that was kind of confusing. The acting was decent, but had a lot of the same problems that the past 13 episodes had. The sets were pretty good and I loved the Sea Devil design, but a lot of the camera work and editing left the episode feeling disorienting, spatially confusing, and far too quick for some scenes to make impact. Unfortunately, I'll have to give Doctor Who Series 13, Episode 8, the Easter Special, Legend of the Sea Devils, written by Ella Road and Chris Chibnall, a 3.5 out of 10. Thank you everybody so much for watching this review of the latest episode of Doctor Who. Like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, and consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so YouTube tells you every time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.